Okay, welcome to Boxing for Real. I'm your host, Don Omega. This is Iron Truth. We're coming at you this week from a higher angle. Ooh, we're getting better. But, welcome back. Thanks for watching last week's show, which was probably put up around the same time as this video and probably the next couple of videos. But anyhow, have fun watching them because, they're great, you know? So, anyhow, let's go ahead and get started with the show. Today we're going to talk about last week's fight, as of this recording, Taylor versus Winky Wright. Let's get started. What do you think? Jermaine Taylor versus Winky Wright for the middleweight championship?
I must say, I think Jermaine Taylor got another gift decision, as he did against Bernard Hopkins twice. I had Winky Wright winning 7 rounds to 5, 115, 113. I thought that was the closest it could have possibly been. I thought he if you notice the punch stats, he threw less, and he still landed about 60 more punches than Taylor, and I think he definitely controlled the fight overall. So
I did not feel Wright really controlled the fight. He allowed Taylor to do way more than Taylor should have been allowed to, especially given Taylor's lack of ability in comparison to Winky Wright. Wright got hit a lot. He blocked a lot, but he did get hit a lot, and he made himself not look as good as he could have.
Absolutely, I agree that Wright did not look as impressive. As you saw last week on the show, I picked Wright to dominate Taylor worse than he did Trinidad. Clearly, I was wrong about that one, unfortunately. But Taylor did impress me somewhat, but still, I believe he got another gift decision, and I think he really should be 0-3 in his last 3 fights. Also, if you would look at something after the fight, Taylor was very relieved to get a draw, it looked like, and Winky Wright was very pissed.
Well, Wright didn't want a rematch. Taylor offered a rematch, so Wright gives up his argument right there, I say.
I think Wright
has no argument. Unless he wants a rematch, too, he can't argue with it.
I think Wright will eventually sign for a rematch. I think he's just pissed that he feels he got robbed again, but I think once he settles down a little, he will definitely sign for a rematch. They'll probably both have a tune-up before that happens. So
I'd love for them to both have a tune-up myself. I think I'd love to see Wright in a match. I'm curious to see what tune-ups they take, though.
I think Jermaine Taylor is going to be fighting in October, it looks like, possibly in Arkansas, maybe somewhere else.
Let's hope somewhere else.
Yeah, not a good boxing state, but he's probably just going to take on a guy like Sam Solomon or somebody like that who Winky Wright has already beat, and I don't know who Wright would take on, really. But
maybe someone Taylor has already beat.
Possibly. Maybe a
William Jockey. Are you available?
This guy's been recycled so much, but
Camacho Jr., come on.
Yeah,
come on
that'd be perfect.
Or maybe the guy that Camacho Jr. beat. Or lost to, that's right, got knocked out, but got stopped by.
Andre Serkan.
Who?
Knocked him out, exactly.
Anyhow, let's go on. Okay, De La Hoya announced that he will not be fighting until probably May. He's not going to fight this year. Well, obviously May has already passed us. And he's saying May of 2007 probably will be his next fight date.
Very big disappointment to everyone. I think pretty much everyone was looking forward to Mayweather and De La Hoya fighting, especially after De La Hoya's dominating performance over Ricardo Mayorga this past May. Now to hear that he is going to be waiting a year until he fights again, that is bad news. But Mayweather should be able to get some good wins in there in the meantime.
Absolutely, Mayweather should continue to fight. He's now going to be fighting in November, it looks like.
Or October.
Possibly October if he takes the Margarito fight that is on the table right now.
$8 million has been offered, apparently, supposedly by Bob Arum, Mayweather's former promoter, who, thank God, is away from now and on his own. I would like to see Mayweather actually fight the Vargas-Mosley rematch winner myself. I think that would be the most competitive fight for him, and also I think that would be the person that deserves to fight Mayweather definitely more than Antonio Margarito.
I would take Margarito, I would take Hatton, I would take Mosley Vargas winner, absolutely. Any of those three, bring them on.
One I would not like to see is Carlos Baldomir against Mayweather. That's a complete joke. He is a complete joke. Zab Judah got robbed against him. Yes, Judah had a horrible, horrible fight that night, but he still did win that fight and did not deserve to have his titles taken from him. Vladimir is a joke. He might beat Gaddy. Well, that remains to be seen. But that would be horrible for him and Mayweather to be on pay-per-view.
It would be horrible for Mayweather to fight a tune-up against Carlos Vladimir. He shouldn't even mention that as a possible opponent. He needs to fight someone. I'd rather see him fight Gaddy again than Vladimir, just to beat him up again, just for fun. It was fun watching him.
It was a great fight for Mayweather. Yeah, not a competitive fight, thank goodness, as we wanted. But
and by the way, I wouldn't really care to see Mayweather versus Gaddy. He already dominated him, and he needs to move on.
So yeah, any of those other guys are fine with. Hatton has already gone on record saying that he didn't want to fight Mayweather until next year at the earliest. He's been ducking him for years, obviously. Margarito continues to supposedly call him out. We'll see if that's sincere.
Cotto making his debut at welterweight. No, not his debut. It'll be his second match at welterweight.
No, it would be his debut.
That's right.
Yes.
The weight, okay. Yeah. That's right, he did make 138.
Yeah.
2-5.
So this would be his first
fight. This would be his
fight.
first match. I don't really see that happening against Mayweather. I don't see Arum beating him to Mayweather.
Cotto is a superstar in the making, definitely. He definitely needs to stay away from Floyd Mayweather Jr. Malianaji, I actually went back and scored the fight round by round. I did have Malianaji up 7-5.
So did I. I told him first he was worried about my...
I had to score it first for myself to see it. When watching it for the first time originally, it did seem like Cotto was winning the fight and definitely winning more rounds. Malianaji did control the action better, and if Malianaji can do that to Cotto, Mayweather is better in every single way than Malianaji. No discredit to Malianaji at all. He's going to be a great fighter one day, but Mayweather is just above everyone, and I think he will knock Cotto out for sure at 147.
Now, other promising fighters coming up, speaking of prospects in the making, Julio fighting this week. Fighting this weekend, and
against Carlos Quintana, also an undefeated fighter, I believe. 21-0 is his record. 17 knockouts.
18.
Okay, 18 knockouts. All right.
Yes. I did my homework.
Oh yeah.
Right here. Anyhow, but people who have watched the other show will know what
know the difference. Anyway, I expect Julio. I'm gonna go and pick Carlos Quintana. I haven't really seen him. Haven't really seen Julio that much either, except for twice, the 2 times they've shown him on American television. Anyway, Julio seems to be very explosive at points and also very skilled. He
throws a lot of combinations.
Mixes his shots up very well. I think I'm going to pick that he will blow Quintana out because he's on a big stage, the biggest stage of his career so far. I'm going to say that he stops him in round 1.
In round 1. Wow. I can't argue with that it won't happen. I don't think that'll happen just because I don't pick first-round knockouts usually.
Me neither.
I'd give him 9-10 rounds at the most for the latest it would go.
Wouldn't be shocked, but like I say, I think Julio's going to come out very aggressive. Well, maybe not.
Has kept from losing 22 times now. Against who? I don't really know. No one great.
And Julio's opposition isn't great either, of course. But I mean, they are prospects. But I'm going to go with Julio by a knockout in round 1 because I really think he's going to want to show to the world what he can do. So
Quintana, his last name makes me want to say he may be a little tough, and he's got a Hispanic last name, which to me says
usually are tough.
Strong fighter, and I don't know. I could see him going a while. But I do expect Julio to beat him thoroughly, regardless of when it is. He will beat him, I believe. That's my pick too. I'm going to pick within 7.
All right.
There we go. So, on the undercard of that fight, Calvin
main
Brock.
event. That's actually the main event. It should be the undercard, but it is the main event, I believe, because it's heavyweights, of course.
Well, I was definitely under the impression it was the undercard. But nonetheless, the other match to be shown,
yes.
Calvin Brock versus Timur
Ibragimov. Haven't seen Timur at all. Supposedly, people are saying that Sultan is the better of the two brothers. They've gone back and forth on which Klitschko brother is better 500,000 times, so you never know. If one gets knocked out, then the other one's anointed the best brother. Then if that one gets knocked out, they go back. They want a white champion so bad. Calvin Brock, I expect, will stop this guy. Don't know the round. I would say late, probably.
Funny, I would say early.
The guy looks like he can take some punches from the pictures I've seen of him.
Brock did take David Bostis the distance for some damn reason. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it even makes it the distance. Because David Bostis sucks. Tim Witherspoon, how old was he? Like 50 when he knocked him out?
I think he was actually like 135.
Yeah, somewhere on up there in the AARP and such.
Absolutely. But I'm going to pick Brock by a late round knockout, probably in about round 7 to 9 or so. I would say he's going to stop Timur Ibragimov.
I agree, absolutely. Now let's talk about Zab Judah and Don King. Apparently, now we can't confirm this news. It's from a site known to not always be right. It's from a website in general anyhow, so these things have to be confirmed. But anyhow, there's news that Zab Judah may be getting away from Don King one way or another. I don't know if he's wanting away or if King isn't wanting him. I don't see King getting rid of anybody since he...
Absolutely not. Since he signed Ricardo Mayorga before anybody knew who he was, and look what happened there. He signed
John Ruiz.
Who, well, he doesn't have now, but kept for way too long.
Way past his expiration date.
No clue why he
So
did that.
basically past the Evander Holyfield fight.
Yes. Lamont Brewster, he signed before his coming out party against Vladimir Klitschko.
So most likely, also we remember Zab Judah before after the Carlos Vladimir fight.
Yes, he blamed King for running him around, promoting the fight, saying that distracted him from his training and focusing on the fight.
So obviously there was already something in there that Judah didn't want, and he's probably glad to be away from him. Let's hope he gets another promoter real soon and gets back in there. I'd love to see him go with Golden Boy, actually.
Yes, that'd be absolutely the perfect promoter for anyone to go to. They're treating their fighters great. I haven't heard one fighter complain one time about being with them at all. They're giving them nothing to complain about. They're really changing the sport for the good.
Or Winky Wright. Winky Wright's going to need some fighters.
Yes, that'd be a good choice, too.
Winky Wright's going to need some fighters now, people. Come on.
Winky Wright Promotions starting up. That would be great. Zab Judah and him are close friends, actually, so that would
both southpaws
probably work, yeah. And
that means
so hopefully Zab Judah will be back in the ring at least by the end of this year, though, at the very latest. But hope everything gets worked out and he's back on top very soon.
I would love to see Judah versus Mitchell. Why not?
Yeah, sure, that'd be fine.
Mitchell just got a win, and I didn't personally think he looked that great in the win. You think he did look great?
Yeah, I thought he looked pretty damn good.
But he got the win. You know what? Let's put him and Zab Judah. Judah's needing a win to come back on. A good win,
and Mitchell wants to close out his career with some good wins. He said he wants to reach that 60 win mark. Hopefully he doesn't go the Paz route and try to fight 10 million times to get his 60th win like Paz did for his 50th win, fighting absolute nobodies and losing to them over and over.
Talker Pudwell,
until he finally got someone to finally lose to him. But anyway, Judah and Mitchell would be an absolute great fight. I think Judah would dominate him and knock him out, but it would be a great win for Zab to work his way back to the top.
Absolutely. I would pick Zab Judah to knock an aging Mitchell out. I'd pick him against the prime
Mitchell, absolutely. So, he's got It's better in every single category, even though Mitchell does everything well. Besides punching power, he never had that much power, but speed, skills, footwork, defense, Mitchell, very good at all of those things. Judah just a level above him.
Yep, and we'll close on that note, I believe. Tune in next time, or check the little box down there, click on a box. It should say, like, whatever username we've decided to go with. Click it, view our other videos. Go ahead, do it now. Enjoy those other videos. We should have some pretty good stuff, some pretty entertaining stuff, maybe some funny shit for you. But anyhow, enjoy that, and be sure to check us out at omegafights.com. We might have some other sites soon, we don't know. And sponsors, get in touch with us. We want to get paid for this.
Absolutely.
And we'll promote your sites for you. We've already promoted places today. We'll promote your fights for you as well. We've already promoted people for free here today. And, well, we got tons. You would be very surprised at the ratings. This is the new #1 show on the internet, I'm sure.
At least it should be, if it's not yet, but give it time.
It's the #1 show in my book, and that goes a long way.
Absolutely.
So, I'm Don Omega. This is Iron Truth. Goodbye.